lounging, son.
Welcome to another episode of the Comic Lounge Podcast, guys. I am your host, Nonstop Dillbot. With me today is the always ever nerdy Ryan Balcom. He's with me every day. I don't know why I said today. Like it was like today. It was like a specifically different day.
I feel like I see you every day now. If I'm not recording with you, I'm editing our videos. So I literally see you every single day.
Yeah, like whatever. It's kind of our thing.
It's not a bad problem to have. So
yeah. Today we're gonna talk about 4 reads we read. Ryan will talk about a 5th that I didn't read that I just realized I should have read because it's one of my favorite artists of all time. Phil Hester drew it.
I mean, if you want, I'll just quickly talk about it then. Get it out of the way.
Quickly talk about it.
And then you just decide the order of how you want to hit it next. I'll let you. So, Superman 29, the start of Philip Kennedy Johnson's run. He's taking over Action Comics and Superman simultaneously. This is part 1 of the 2-part story called Golden Age. You know, art by Phil Hester, or pencilers Phil Hester, Eric Gapster is inker, hi-fi colorist, Dave Sharps is the letterer. And I loved it, dude. I talked about it. I sang his praises with Worlds of War, with the House of L, and you know, since you didn't read it, I don't want to get too spoilery, but like a lot of interaction between Clark and John. We get get some Amanda Waller up in there. This is going to be leaning, I think, heavily into the sci-fi stuff, but this one, for the most part, I would say, has a lot of awesome Clark and John moments. And I know that John is going to be playing, I think, a pretty big factor in this series. I know we're not going to see too much of like the stuff in Metropolis, at least. I'm pretty sure that's what Philip Kennedy Johnson said. There's also a backup story called Tales of Metropolis. There's going to be backups in each one as well, in Superman and in Action. And this one has Bibbo. Do you remember him from like the 90s? Yeah. So he's a center stage. Sean Lewis wrote that.
Wait, Bibbo?
Yeah, Bibbo.
The bar owner?
Yeah, the bar owner. It's great. I mean, this is such a great start to this run, and like I said before, I had high expectations and they were met. I'm really digging this, and anytime I get Phil Hester on art on anything, I'm very excited. You know, normally you would think he's better on like a character that's like more in the shadows, right? Like a Batman, or he's like Green Arrow, like when he did that awesome Green Arrow with Kevin Smith. Right. But like, this is dope. It's really dope, and I know you're gonna love it. I think I'm gonna read this as soon as I can. I can't believe I didn't realize Phil Hester was doing it. Like I just picked it up, not friggin' real. Like I knew Phil Kennedy Johnson was writing it, but I didn't realize that it was Phil Hester doing the art. I love Phil Hester. For those like listening in, like I am a big like ridiculous Phil Hester fan. Yeah. I love his art style, and you're right. Like a lot of his stuff, like I just turned to a page with Amanda Waller, and there's a lot of shadow. A lot of his art is really prominent as far as black and white goes. Like his art, his pencils and his inks, and it was very dark, very contrasting. And wow, to see it in color is actually. And it's a little weird because like I don't know that this inker has ever inked him before, but the lines do feel almost a little bit softer than the normal blockiness of Phil Hester, because Phil Hester definitely has like Mignola vibes to me when I see some of his work. Like not necessarily so much in this particular issue, but you know, I would have, to anybody listening or watching, I would have dove a little bit deeper into the story, but like I especially don't want to ruin it for you. I know by the time this video posts, people will have had more of a chance to read it, but I want you to be able to kind of have fresh eyes. I know you don't like knowing synopsis too much, so it was one of my favorite books this week. One of my absolute favorites. So
nice. Yeah. We'll go on to, I think it was both of our favorites. One of our favorites this week. Our boy.
The Merc with the Mouth. The Merc with the Mouth.
With the Mouth.
The king of Staten Island. Yeah.
the king of Staten Island.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Deadpool Nerdy 30. Which cover did you get? You got the Ed McGuinness? I had to go with my boy Uncle Rob. I had to.
Okay, Unky Rob.
I had to, man. I'm telling you, like his podcast has made me has reinvigorated my fandom that I used to have for him when I was younger, and I absolutely love hearing like his thoughts on comics, his thoughts on like the WandaVision, everything, dude. Like I love the creators that they brought back too for this.
Yes, it's like literally all my favorite creators to ever touch a Deadpool title.
I kind of liked every story, to be honest with you. It's like like this is an anthology it's not taking itself seriously. So like
at all.
Like this is what I would have wanted. I mean like I don't want to say that I had expectations because I didn't. I never do when it comes to a Deadpool comic. I try not to have any expectations, and I just go in blind. And I liked it. I liked the little snapshots of the moments in his life. Like, obviously, we get stuff that, like, it's just funny, dude.
It's funny. Let's start with the war. Let's start with the War of the Deadpools.
Okay. Yeah.
The art in here is fantastic. I mean, even right down to the dialogue, like Joe Kelly still has it. Right?
Of course, dude.
Right, Joe Kelly still has it. And it's prominent. It's prominent in every little yellow bubble.
I know. I know. Who's he fighting? Who's he fighting? The Ovumatrix.
The Ovumatrix, dude. I don't know, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And it's pregnant.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. Is it's trying to get pregnant. Like that's crazy. And we get like a fucking like a mashup of like Spider-Man and Deadpool with guns. I mean, it's just insanity. That's all you get with a Deadpool comic book. And Joe Kelly, I think, for me, my first Deadpool comic that I got, my uncle bought it from when I was a kid, was the Deadpool #1 by Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness. That was my first Deadpool comic. And then I liked it so much, my uncle took me back to the shop, and then he bought me those 2 Deadpool miniseries that took place before that. So, like, Joe Kelly, to me, is like my Deadpool writer. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he is what started my love of the character. Obviously, we've had other runs with great creators. I mean, they're in this book. So,
and it's fantastic that Joe Kelly was the one to kind of set it off, right? I feel like he set the tone for the insanity that is this. I mean, in this we get like a lot of cameos from old Deadpool favorites. Kidpool is in it, Lady Deadpool. We see like a Shatterstar armored Deadpool.
Yeah,
like it's pretty funny. Like, so I don't know, but like I don't know who those who are familiar with like the Deadpool character, like the Omniversal Council of Deadpools. It's a hilarious ragtag bunch. It's absolutely ridiculous the amount of different Deadpools there are. Like, I think one of the most famous Deadpools is Pandapool. You have Pandapool, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's fucking zombie Deadpool. There's just a fucking head.
Headpool, Dogpool.
There's I mean, they're everywhere, dude. Now we have Gwenpool, who actually has nothing to do with Deadpool, but she's just Gwenpool. So.
Yeah, because Gwendolyn Pool. But okay, but let's move on to baby's first Cable.
Oh my god, I love this one, dude. I fucking love this story. Scotty Young, I'm telling you, Scotty Young is not just an amazing artist, but his writing just gets better and better. And I know that I'm not saying this is like, oh my god, he's such a great writer because of this story, but he hits the beats with the amount of pages he's given and the hilarity that ensues. I mean, you start off with a baby that's literally
Baby Wade.
Literally dressed in a Deadpool costume. He's in a Deadpool onesie. Like, that's hilarious.
What I like about this is the series of conversations that the Cables have.
Yeah.
Because time travel shenanigans and Cable is quite possibly the most complicated set of events ever.
Yeah.
And for those of you who know, like, who know the character Cable takes himself way too seriously. I think the readers know it. Deadpool certainly knows it. Yeah. And Scotty Young freaking plays this like the perfect fiddle. Like,
yes. He has every version of Cable.
Yeah.
We get every version, dude.
Every version of Cable. Every costume. Every iteration. We even get Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I know. He's just sitting there behind Soldier X. Right, you remember Soldier X was when Agent X is out. So, and then you got we got Kid Cable with his little sword.
Yeah. And like you have every form of costume. You have Gorilla Cable. Like he hits it. He hits every freaking mark. And the fact that all this chaos is surrounding Baby Wade riding a cable arm through the friggin' rubble of his childhood home. Yeah. Like what's not to love about this?
Oh, it's awesome, dude.
What is not to love about this? Baby's first cable.
I know, and then you have him at his prom. I love this one, dude. I don't even know these artists. I mean, I know Bob Quinn. Kevin LaBranda, though, I'm not familiar with, but I thought this was really funny, too. Because I love that even he has yellow word balloons, but that's, like, you would assume, like, oh, that's because, like, he's Deadpool and he had the cancer and, like, all what was done to him, like, kind of changed his voice. So it's kind of like what they do with Joker, right?
Yeah.
But no, he's always had yellow word balloons. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I love that he gets, like, chained to Wolverine. Like, this is before they've ever met. Like, this is the first time they met, I'm assuming, is what this is supposed to be. And they're fighting Hydra agents. So stupid, I love. You keep metal. He's like, you keep metal knives in your arm. That seems wildly impractical. Like
wildly impractical.
The dialogue is just. They all got his voice down, dude.
Yes, they have it. I mean, Kelly Thompson has it. You know, she's the one that made him the king of Staten Island. Yep. And it's you know, I love how, like, you know, I wish I had another symbol pun. Like, you know, we're reading Shakespeare plays, symboline in English lit. Maybe there's something to that. And like, I love how off top, like, Wolverine there's already that dynamic with Wade and Wolverine, where Wolverine just isn't having any of it at all.
Oh yeah, already hates him, dude. He is. And of course, he hates him, and then they're trapped together, having to fight these Hydra agents. Like, that's what I think was really funny about it, was that. And then as he's like leaving, he's like, just pick one thing to be best at, and then he walks, and then he just walks out
like 35 things.
Yeah. What about that short, hairy, violent Sir Man? So stupid. I mean, dude. Hey, but the next one is what, like, it was, like, uneasy to, like, look at the way he was depicted, right?
What I like about this Feminicieza one is that this is kind of a part of Deadpool that we don't see. We don't see, like, you know, we hear about the Department H and Department K, like the whole experiment and the cancer, and we know about his perpetual cell regeneration. But I feel like this is the part where we don't really get to see, like, when he was actually in, and, like, the suffering. This kind of goes a little serious, but at the same time, you know, there's, like, for as hard as the art is, we get inside of his mind, which he's like, oh, I'm going to be the next super soldier. And then it's the classic picture of Captain America punching Hitler, but instead of the handsome Captain America face, it's cancer face Deadpool.
Right. With you can't forget, though, not only does he have a healing factor, it's the Barry Bonds of healing factors.
The Barry Bonds.
It's so stupid. So stupid. I tried to say that without laughing, but it's like then he wants to be a mercenary like Taskmaster. Then you got him swinging in like Spider-Man, like.
And I love how the protest of the Spider-Man panel. It's like, stop being stupid.
Yeah,
stop being stupid.
Yeah, loser.
Yeah, it's great.
What a dork is also in there. Yeah.
And he's like in and out of like consciousness and healing. So like at the end of this, like his jaw falls off, which is fucking hilarious. Happy birthday.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you though, like it looks like worms like coming off of his body. I don't want to say that I think it's bad, but like Deadpool's never been depicted like that. Patrick Zircher, or Patch Zircher as he's like referred to in the beginning of in the credits.
Yeah. He's
drawn Deadpool before. I think that like the way like that was my only gripe, I think, with the entire book. I didn't really like that it looked like
tendrils.
Yeah, it just looked a little odd to me. I mean, it made me uneasy looking at it, like uncomfortable to where like my skin was crawling. Yeah. And I guess if that's what you were going for, good job. But that was the only. It's a minor issue that I had with it. because he's never been drawn like that. So I thought it was weird. I mean, he looked like
Right.
look, and then you have the ad right next to it with Carnage, and I'm like, oh, were they trying to make him look like Carnage? Like it looks almost the same. So
yeah.
okay,
All right.
our boy.
Let's get into the one we were waiting for. The first name I said last week when we were like, "Oh, there's a nerdy 30," and the first name I said, and the name I tie synonymously to one of my favorite Deadpool runs.
Yeah.
The Queen herself,
Yeah.
Gail Simone, and she did not fail me.
I don't think I would.
Our boy.
I wouldn't have bought this if her name wasn't on the book. I'll be straight up.
Agreed. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. I wouldn't have bought it. Like, oh no, Gail Simone, no Dylan money.
Yeah.
But this,
our boy, dude,
our boy
back.
Alex fucking Hayden, bro.
Yes.
Alex
Agent
fucking
X.
Hayden. Agent X. Like, if you guys haven't seen the episode of our review of Deadpool Classic number 9, go watch it. And then go read Deadpool Classic Volume 9 and then go watch it. If you want to talk about like the perfect pairing, you want to talk about like Bill and Ted, we're talking about freaking Wade and Alex.
Yeah.
This is great.
Hey, tell me one thing. Did you not want a Wade and Alex book after you finish this? I was like, why doesn't this exist? Why aren't we seeing this pair in a book? Give me a miniseries, I'd be fine. Just give me something with these two, because like,
give me Wade and Alex, and then give me Wade and Alex hunting Tasky.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be awesome, dude. That would be awesome. I would love
like
that
hunting Tasky, and then like I don't know, like Taskmaster ran off a Black Swan's body or something to clone it. I don't know, like Heroes for Hire. We'll just pitch you ideas. But
I mean, just go after the corny ass villains like Stiltman, which is who they fucking go against.
Oh man, I would love to see Alex and Wade versus the Porcupine.
Are you fucking? Did you just jump into my? I was literally about to say the Porcupine. I can't believe
dude,
you
the
just
Porcupine.
Said that. Dude, simpatico, bro. Dude. We're fucking simpatico.
We're right here. But okay. This has to be one of my favorites. I mean, 1, because of nostalgia. 2, because it's a great team up, and Gail Simone's an excellent writer. And 3, the dialogue between the two.
Stiltman goes full commando.
He goes full commando under the armor.
Oh my dear God in heaven, under the armor. Oh my God, dude, it's so funny. It's just ridiculous.
Like Deadpool, shoot the skull for a man. Come on, bud, it's my birthday. All the more reason not to shoot you. Like, I'm not gonna shoot you, Wade. Like,
Oh my God, dude, I love this. I mean, it was my favorite story. I think it was my favorite story.
Easily. And then I love that that Domino and Diamondback make a little appearance. This fool Hayden literally friggin' like fireman pole slides down the friggin' Stiltman's leg and lands in the trunk of a car and gets himself locked in said trunk of the car.
Yeah.
It is great. Oh man. I love it. Like, it makes me. You're right. These few pages literally make me want an Alex Hayden, Wade Wilson run.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
Like, Gail, slim chance that you're listening, but we love you over here at the Comic Lounge.
Yeah,
we would greatly appreciate if you would just give us and like old school Deadpool heads the satisfaction of an Agent X Deadpool run.
Yeah.
I think the world needs it.
I agree.
The pandemic world of 2021 needs your Deadpool and Agent X. Just a suggestion.
We do. We need it.
All right. On to the next one, huh?
Yeah, the Daniel Way, Paco Medina one.
Okay. Daniel Way definitely reinvigorated my love for Deadpool way back when, at the start of his run. It was Dark Reign. It started off with Dark Reign. And I still remember the series of events in that first story arc of Dark Reign. And
he literally, like, in that arc, like, he is largely responsible for Norman Osborn being able to take out the Queen of the Skrulls, because the whole first arc is him infiltrating the Skrulls, stealing the things to give to Nick Fury. Norman intercepts it, and then Norman fucking flips it on Wade and makes it seem like he was a traitor to Earth. And they start cloning him and fucking making Deadpool Skrulls. Oh my God.
Deadpool Skrulls. But wait, let's go back to how he takes down the Skrull ship at a baseball game first. He dresses up as something similar to the Philly Fanatic and takes down the entire Skrull warship by himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this like Ryan said, this whole leads into a whole series of events where Deadpool actually has his own personal vendetta against Norman and tries to off every single one of his thunderbolts.
Yeah. Oh, it was such a good run.
It was a fantastic run, which leads up to Wade turning a new leaf and wanting to become a good guy, and then after that he's like, this sucks. I just want to die.
Yeah.
And it actually brings a lot of depth to the character, like that we haven't seen since the first miniseries, right?
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? A lot of it was silly, of course. Like, there's one thing that Deadpool is synonymous for. It's silly, but I feel like Daniel Way really brought like a few more layers to the character that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
And a lot of that transferred on going forward. And I feel like there's a lot of Daniel Way and a lot of definitely a lot of Joe Kelly and definitely a lot of Gail Simone. But like, I feel like a lot of Daniel Way's Deadpool really encapsulated the Deadpool we see in the movies. Yeah. Anyway, moving forward, Daniel Way. I mean, he doesn't falter here either, dude. I mean, there's not a single Deadpool story in here that I'm like disappointed with.
Yeah.
And this just adds to it. So Deadpool kidnaps a drug chemist, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna take you to safety. I'm gonna take you to CIA. But in the meantime, we gotta stop by. It's my birthday, so I'm gonna stop by and get some cake. And he goes to like a Baskin Robbins type place, and then he gets the cake, but then he reveals that. Everywhere around the world, there's at least a Baskin Robbins type place that he hides guns in because they're everywhere, and it's and no one would ever suspect there being guns in a Baskin Robbins.
He finds one of his old costumes too. Calls back to like the scene when like Domino fucking fought him. Yeah, dude, what a fucking callback, dude. I mean. It's so good, dude. I mean,
so good, but it's not even Domino either. It's what do you
Vanessa?
Call it? It's Vanessa. It's Copycat.
Right. Yeah. Oh, dude.
I love it. I love it.
I love the next story too by Jerry Duggan and Brian Posen. Like we get like
it's and Scott Koblish. You can't forget about Scott Koblish.
Scott Koblish. You're right.
Scott Koblish is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I always see him in passing every time we're at LA Comic-Con, and every time it's like in passing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a dope guy. I saw him like randomly at a shop when I forgot what shop it was when I was just buying comics, and he just happened to be there picking up his own stuff, But I love this story. It's like decades in the future. Deadpool's fucking chained to hell in a fucking coffin, thrown into the sea, and then you just see him like talking to himself with his mask on his hand.
He has a castaway moment.
He has to bite. He's biting his own finger off to use his blood to draw on the underneath of the fucking coffin. And
that's great.
And then I love it too because like we get like the glimpse of like was it Deadpool 2099? Like that was like the end of the Jerry Duggan stuff. And I like the way it ends too because we get Deadpool's daughter, Ellie. Like we haven't seen her in the comic book since that run.
Yeah, so. And we also get our man all about the Benjamins, Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah. Can't forget about Ben Franklin, dude.
I think that was one of my favorite things out of the Jerry Duggan Brian Posehn run was that the Dead President's arc was really funny to me because it was just like, of course, he's haunted by the ghost of Benjamin Franklin, and Benjamin Franklin's kind of a perv. Like,
of course. Yeah, that run, like, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorites. It had like as a whole, but there was a lot of moments that I really did enjoy. I think I stopped enjoying it a little bit when they were like the world's greatest Deadpool comic, or he's the world's greatest and he had all the money. Like that's when I started not enjoying it as much.
He started funding the Avengers.
Yeah, that's kind of where I fell off and I stopped reading it. But I love this story. I thought it was great. And then we end the book with the man himself the guy that created him, that brought the Merc with the Mouth to life, Rob Liefeld, Uncle Rob.
Uncle Rob.
Of course, it breaks the fourth wall. It's Deadpool talking to us.
It's all.
That's all it is. He's talking to us. He's talking about New Mutants '98 and how what does he say? He decided to treat himself on his birthday to stacks and stacks.
He bought his own slab.
Yeah, you can't forget though. It's the first appearance of Gideon, like that, and that's what he said. And so many people like talk about that, like nobody ever says it. And then I love that we have, as he's talking to us, we have like the panels from the original issue kind of in the back. But I mean, I loved it. We got like the different costumes throughout the era, talking about how one time he had that little stupid shit on top of his head, which I could not stand that. I was like, what is the point of that? Why does he have that little fucking shit on top? But
it makes him look like a ninja.
Yeah, it was cool. And I mean, even at the end, you know, like, we get the splash page of Cable, you know, with Deadpool standing there getting blasted, fucking Cable's there, not with as much shoulder pads as I would have liked. But
yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed in the lack of shoulder pads.
Yeah, I was
and the lack of pouches, to be honest.
There was at the end though. Once Rob draws himself into the fucking book, and he's fucking all he has on the wall are pouches, and he's making more pouches. I thought that was hilarious. It was a hilarious.
I also love that it looks like Rob is wearing a sweater vest, but the sweater vest also has pouches.
Yes. And you know what the best part about it? What do you say, Levi's?
What do you say, Levi's?
That was awesome, dude. I love that. And then what does he say? If I had to do it all over again, I'd lose the choker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a good way to end it. I love the issue. I think if you're a Deadpool fan, that this is like, you have to pick this up, because this is my favorite Deadpool thing I've had in a while.
Yes, I 100% agree. Like, I think when Marvel tries to integrate Deadpool too much into like the rest of the Marvel universe, it's not as fun, because Deadpool is at his best when he's just left to his own devices, and he has small interactions with like bigger characters, right? Like, him fighting obscure characters is like the best thing ever, because it's just joke fodder for him. You can sit here, and the thing is, he can sit on the outside and make fun of everything else, and he can kind of do it in like the perspective of the reader as well. And like, I feel like that is what needs to happen with like another Deadpool run. Don't take itself too seriously. Just make sure it's just absolutely silly. And for the most part, the quips have to just keep on rolling.
Yeah,
I also miss the white little boxes. Remember? Yeah, the white little boxes. Madcap. We come to later to. I always pictured the white boxes being British. Because it was a typewriter script, right? So I was like, he's British, and then the other one's
proper,
stupid. Let's talk Wonder Woman. Oh right, man, holy crap!
Fuck yeah, bro!
Holy shit!
I'm reading them credits. I'm reading them credits of one of my new favorite writing duos in comics.
Holy shit!
Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan, man. They fucking knocked it out of the park with Future State. Their ideas for this book, dope. It was fire. I love this fucking book. Like, I think it's great. We got Travis Moore on art, Tamara Bonvillain on colors, and Pat Brousseau on letters, dude.
There was nothing about this that I did not like.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Norse mythology, but okay. So it's crazy because Diana's an Olympian. Like,
yes,
the daughter of Zeus. Like, what the hell is she doing in
she's
Asgard,
immortal.
Valhalla?
And she's immortal. So why is she there? And we don't know. We meet this new guy, fucking Siegfried, yeah, dude. And first of all, I love this costume. I've talked about this. I think I talked about this last week when we did Infinite Frontier. I really like this design. I think it's really dope because it's not, I mean, we've never seen Diana in like this full like battle garb. Like, first of all, she's not wearing a skirt. She's, you know what I mean? Like, she's heavily cloaked with armor, and I love it. And she doesn't know why she's there. It seems like she doesn't have her memory. She keeps getting these flashbacks of somebody floating towards her from the bright light, kind of telling her like, I don't know why you're here. You can't stay here. Like,
the longer you stay, the more you don't remember.
And we don't know who that is. We still don't know. Like, I don't know how long that mystery is going to be played out. but I really, really enjoyed this book. And I don't want to say I enjoyed it more than I thought, because I had a feeling I was really going to like it.
Same.
But it still surpassed even my high expectations, I think, for sure.
Yeah. I love it. And, you know, they're I mean, we get our first glimpse of DC Thor. You know, we also get a glimpse of the Yggdrasil, which is, you know, the life tree. Like, off top, like, you know, when you hear that the DC is kind of doing Norse gods, you kind of feel like it's kind of going to be a rip on what the Marvel did, but it's not. It's actually more. I feel like it's closer to mythology than the actual Marvel stuff, because the Marvel stuff they kind of portray the Asgardians as, you know, they're an alien race, a superior alien race that came to Earth and did their thing, right? But this is actually more grounded in Earth than it is to space, more grounded in the mythology than it is to anything else, and I can really appreciate that. She's kind of going through like a Groundhog Day thing, which I also love, where it's kind of like, you know, she's repeating the days over and over again. Battle, drink, sleep. Battle, drink, sleep. Battle, drink, sleep. You know, and you know, there is in fact a talking critter.
I mean, come on, bro. When are we gonna have the team up? Huh? Jarro, Jerry, and Ratatosk, dude.
Dude, I love it. Dude, why the fuck? Get out of my head. Stop it. Stop it. I felt like as soon as you saw Ratatosk, you were like,
I thought of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, is this his new favorite character?
This is his new favorite critter. Actually, no one will ever top Jarro, and then Jerry is close behind.
Yeah.
But Ratatosk, we don't know yet. Right now, it seems kind of ominous. Ratatosk might be evil, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know. There's a lot of stuff we don't know, and I love that. I love this whole mystery. I love that we don't know where it's going. There's nothing about this that isn't fresh and new. You know what I mean?
It's probably the most. I haven't seen this unique of a start to a run in Wonder Woman. I can't even tell you how long. I mean, they kept changing new writers and stuff, but it didn't ever feel like this fresh break. And, you know, Nick and I were talking about it at the shop, like, should they have renumbered some of these books? What, you know, like, they might have sold more. People might have been like, okay, well, it's not Wonder Woman 770. It's Wonder Woman #1. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, I kind of hate when they renumber it, especially since they just changed it back to in the 700s for her anniversary issue. Why would you all of a sudden, like 10, 20 issues later, revert back to #1 again? So I think it's the job of us as comic shop retailers, right? As people that work in shops, it's our job to tell people this is a good jumping on point, which is exactly what I did, and it's exactly how I got people to buy the book on Wednesday. You know, because I said, this is the start of a new run. It was awesome. I read it. I loved it, and I think everybody, if you're a DC fan, should pick it up. I haven't subbed to Wonder Woman in a long time.
And it was okay. But this is, I mean, I'm not going to say Mariko Tamaki is a bad writer. Like her story just wasn't hit. It wasn't
for you. Yeah, it wasn't
hitting notes, and it didn't feel like it didn't feel as fresh as this one. This is definitely something.
I mean, we don't know if that had to do with editors too, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like,
it could have been like the upper echelon of the editorial that was like, no, we want to go in this direction. This seems like they're letting them do it. Norse gods, fucking, she's in Valhalla. She has no memory. Like, this is stuff that, like, this is captivating to me. The art, Travis Moore fucking killed it, dude.
Yes,
Tamara Bonvillain's colors, like, I mean, we know her from books like fucking Once in Future. Like, she's one of the best colorists.
She's one of the best colors.
So
her and friggin'
Matthew Wilson. I know you love his color.
Yeah, her and Matt Wilson are friggin' like. I feel like they can make a piece of crap look that great. I'm just saying.
I mean, this book was one of my favorites of the week. I mean, all the books that we picked. It's funny we picked them, and I kind of knew they were going to be my favorites, and they were. There's also a Young Diana story by Jordi Belair and Paulina Ganucheau. Colors by Kendall Good. Letters by Becca Carey. I really like that story too. We get Diana with her pet kangaroo. I forgot the name. Jumpa. That's you know, it's like the crypto of Superman. Like, this is like harkening back to, like, you know, like the weird shit in the 60s. But I really like this story too. But the main story is really like If I'm being
It's
honest,
really the meat of it.
Yeah, that's the meat of it. It's what I love the most. We'll jump around. So let's go back. We'll do another Marvel book now.
I was gonna suggest that.
Okay, Nonstop Spider-Man. We already talked about our love of Joe Kelly. I like this fucking book, dude. And one of the things I liked about it, Chris Bachalo on pencils, Tim Townsend on inks, Marcio Menez on colors, Travis Lanham on letters. I love Chris Bachalo.
Yeah,
he's always been an artist that I really loved. You know, I've recently, I didn't read Death when it originally came out, the Sandman, Death, and he did the art on that, and I really liked that style of his art. But I also like how much it's changed, and I loved him when he did Uncanny X-Men with Bendis. I love the way he lays out the action pages.
Yeah.
Like when it's regular Peter, it's regular panels. But when it's Spider-Man fighting, we get this like side swipe, and it really adds to the action because it like takes your eye in a direction you're not normally taken in a comic book. At least that's how I felt. I felt like I was reading it differently, so it was like giving me a different reading experience. And I actually sold the book yesterday to one of our subs because I told him, he's like, should I get it? I'm like, dude, it's very cool. It's a very cool book. It's exactly what it says, Nonstop Spider-Man. It's all action for the most part.
It's all action. Right? It's all action.
But at the heart of it, it's also about like drug addiction, right? And somebody dies from overdosing, and that's the kind of seriousness undertone that Joe Kelly adds, but it doesn't feel like it's beating you over the head with like, oh, don't do drugs kind of thing. But I really, really enjoyed this book. More so than I've enjoyed a Spider-Man book in a while, and that I'm not trying to throw shade at Nick Spencer or anything, because I've actually started to enjoy it again. But this was fun. This is a Spider-Man book that I want to see. And I feel like it is set in the present, even though at times I'm like, wait, is he? Because he is in college, I think, again. I think he went back to grad school. But there's no other...
It's like I miss having money.
Yeah. But there's no other signification to say of like exactly when this takes place. But I mean, I can remove that while I'm reading. And I think it was just really dope. And I was skeptical about another Spider-Man book because we already have Spider-Man twice a month. So sometimes 3 times in a month. Yeah. But this is dope.
Definitely a good break from all the other Spider-Man titles. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with Spidey right now, right? A lot. And also, did you notice the Scotty Young sticker on Peter's laptop?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, that doesn't even matter. But what like you said, the undertone, the seriousness undertones of all this, it's right. It doesn't beat you over the head with it, but it's still there. Like,
and he's got those signature quips. I love.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Joe Kelly gets it, bro. Yeah. Joe Kelly gets it. Joe Kelly absolutely gets it. As far as Chris Bachalo, I love Chris Bachalo. I feel like a lot of his a lot of that has to do with the fact that he did the Wu Massacre, Raekwon Method Man, and Ghostface Killah album art cover. Right.
Yeah, it's a dope cover. That's a dope.
Yeah, it is. And like I love the fact that like they come with prints. When you buy the vinyl, it came with prints.
Yeah, I don't have a record player, so I don't buy vinyl.
Neither do I, but I literally just freaking bought. Like, no, I didn't buy it. I actually got it for Christmas one year. It's one of my favorite things. Yeah, like you said, his art, it is what it is. It's action. The detail that goes into some of this stuff, like when he's shattering through walls or smashing into a car, like you can hear it and you can feel the vibration of it. And like, when he's fighting those guys, like when he's literally fighting those guys with the Beyond Sword, like I think it's just one of the funniest things. It's like, it's definitely modern, in a sense. It's great. Like the quips are there. There's nothing about this that I can really complain about.
I like the backup story too, man.
Oh yeah.
Baron Zemo. So like
Baron Zemo, dude.
He's gonna be the big bad of the series. Like that's if you read the editorial.
I wasn't expecting that.
Editor's note in here, like I was like, what? What I did was I flipped. I didn't read it. I just went to the next page, and then I'm like, okay, what did they say in that, right? And I'm like, oh, that's interesting because like I don't ever remember a time when Spider-Man was going up against Baron Zemo, but Baron Zemo's ruthless, bro. Like they were basically making fun of him, and then he fucking obliterated these motherfuckers.
Everybody.
And told them that they have no direction. Like, they couldn't even answer what Hydra's motivations are. And then the 3 guys that said what Hydra's motivations were all gave us different answers based on what Hydra's motivations have been in the comic books. I don't know if you, like, if that...
Yeah, I caught that.
So I thought that was really funny, and Dale Eaglesham's art, I mean, I love his art too. And I'm very, very excited for this book, because this seems like a Spider-Man book that is going to be on its own. It's not, and like I love Joe Kelly, dude. I fucking love his writing. I love Chris Pachalo's art. I love Dale Eaglesham's art, and I want more of this book. And I hope it sells enough to like kind of last for a little bit,
Yeah, and it's great. I feel like back to Joe Kelly. Like I feel like Joe Kelly really has the voices down for a lot of these characters. I can't wait to see Joe Kelly do J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, even though J. Jonah Jameson and Peter are kind of like okay now.
Kind of.
I mean, they're pretty much.
Versus a Spider-Man.
I mean, he knows who Peter is now. In the comics, so it's like they have like this interesting dynamic that I think is kind of cool. Yeah, I love the book. It's another awesome hit for me. Let's talk. I know we'll talk Joker before we get out of here.
I will start off by saying this. I did not think that this was going to be that good.
Mm-hmm.
I literally had to tell people, because we, you know how we do poll suggestions and we put it in people's polls, and people are like, Joker, guy, he's getting his own comic now. It's like, no. Pick it up. Like, it's good. It's the perspective of it was something that was fresh to me, and I loved it. And it's not what you think it is. It's holy crap, man.
Yeah, spoilers ahead, because like we have to kind of talk. We won't be able to talk about the book if we don't say what the perspective is. So if you haven't read Joker and you don't want to be spoiled, just turn the video off right now. Give you a couple seconds, and okay, cool. It's from Commissioner Gordon's perspective. That's dope. I knew it before because Ed told me. I was like, dude, I don't want to fucking read Joker. I'm like, to be honest, and it's nothing against the creators whatsoever. Nothing. I was just like, why do I want to read a Joker book from his perspective? Like, that doesn't seem interesting to me. I've read it. I've read that story. And even that story was really not too much from him. It was from one of his henchmen, that Brian Azzarello Bermejo one, right?
Yeah.
But to get it from Commissioner Gordon's perspective, it's like a detective story kind of. I'm down for this, dude.
Yeah.
James Tynion, he did a great job. Gilliam March on art.
Fantastic.
Dude, yes, it was really dope.
There's kind of like this. It's kind of like this like serial killer noir to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I really appreciate, and the inside of Jim's mind is great, because he talks like a cop, and it's crazy to see, especially like this directly ties into what we saw in Infinite Frontier, right? How it takes place immediately after A-Day, and Bane's dead, and everybody's on the hunt for the Joker right now. Everybody is on the hunt for the Joker, and it's crazy. It's like, he killed over 500 people in one night. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And just one of my favorite stuff about this is, like, when he talks about every time he closes his eyes, he hears laughter, or he sees the Joker's reflection in things, and like, it's always the Joker, like in classic Joker costume, or in his summer vacation costume.
Well, we got that Killing Joke image too when he's talking to that chick, because the whole thing is like, right, the whole this whole story is this chick Cressida wants to hire him to fucking hunt the Joker. Yeah, dude, this is
good stuff, dude.
This is really cool. I really, really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this book. I mean, even that final page, like before because there's a backup story, like with Joker, and he's holding the fucking Gotham Gazette after he's just like blasted some chick's head. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, Joker's last laugh. I love his wardrobe adjusts to the climate. He's very practical. He's very practical in that sense because
Yeah,
it's
and
going to be.
it's crazy too because he's responsible for A-Day. A-Day is what was talked about in Future State, which was Arkham Asylum being destroyed. So like it's all connected, man, and within the Batman Gotham universe. And I think it's interesting that that was his last laugh. Like, I'm gonna blow this shit up. Bye. I'm going on vacation. It's like, what the fuck?
And I'm out.
Yeah, really.
It's great, dude.
This book surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah, it did. It definitely blew me. It blew me out of the water. You know, I was enthralled from beginning to end. It even made me want to read the Punchline stuff, and I did, which is interesting. I mean, first and foremost, I want to highlight Mirka Andolfo's art on this. Mirka Andolfo is a great artist. I love her stuff in Mercy. Yeah. You know, Sam Johns and James Tynion on writers, but like this also gives perspective and as to like how. I mean, I don't know much about Punchline. There was nothing that really interested me about the character. Really,
you didn't read any of the Batman comics, huh?
No, none.
I read them all. I talked a lot of shit. I know in the beginning.
Yeah, but I mean, this makes me interested in the character now. Like, you know, I don't know exactly what's going on. I know that she did some pretty bad things while under the Joker's thing, but the end, her snap moment, that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, she could be an interesting character. I mean, I just didn't like how the speculators got a hold of this character and made her into something so big, and she hadn't even been around that long. So, like, that's just more on, like, it's annoying, you know? But I like that we have Harper Row is back from Snyder's Batman run. That's who it is on the final page. And I'm excited to see her back. She was a Bluebird, I think was her code name during that run. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. I know that James Tynion, obviously, he's good friends with Scott Snyder. He's a huge fan of that run. We've talked about this, his love of the Batman lore in that era with Tim Drake, Cassandra Cain, and Stephanie Brown. So I'm gonna add this to my poll. It wasn't on my poll beforehand, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's good. This really set a tone for me for the Infinite Frontier stuff, and I can't wait to read the Superman title. I'm still behind. I haven't read the Batman that came out last week. I got to get on that. We sold out, so.
I know, because it was speculated on. That's why.
No. Oh.
I mean, you know the speculators.
I love
but
those
yeah,
guys.
I think all these books were. Oh, go ahead.
There's a speculator. He's looking for old copies of like Department of Truth and something is killing the children, right?
We have those customers.
Oh, those guys. Yeah. Okay. And like, you know, he tries to play it off like we're dumb. So we went into our diamond return boxes and we found like a whole stack of freaking Department of Truth #1s, right? And then we're like, Dylan. I want to make like a picture perfect like photocopy of one and put it like just the front cover and then put it in a freaking bagging board, but put issue like #5 in it and then see what he does. And then also I want you to be like when he comes in, like kind of play it off like, oh yeah, I found this, I'm taking this, and then kind of slide it into my pull so he sees like the image. Dude, I want to troll all our specs so bad.
Yeah, please do, man. Please do.
Like if you're a troll, we don't like you around here. Like,
we don't.
Just know that. Like
we don't.
From the perspective of people who works in comic shops, you literally ruin it for the people who friggin' love comics. And you made me hate a character that I never even read about. Punchline. I hated her off top because you guys liked her.
Same.
See what you did?
Same.
See what you did?
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. But Joker, Not Stop Spider, Wonder Woman, Deadpool Nerdy 30, Superman, all fucking awesome issues. Highly recommend them. Before we get out of here, let's talk about maybe the books we're gonna do next week. I'm gonna throw in Nightwing.
Oh, off top. I can tell you right now, it's gonna be my favorite.
Yeah, Justice League. I have it at home. I haven't read it yet.
I can tell you right now, that's gonna be my favorite.
Okay, well let's do Nightwing and Justice League for sure, because like that's the start of Bendis's run and Tom Taylor. There's
Thor comes
Superman.
out.
I mean, Superman Red and Blue, but like I don't know. Like again, I don't want to be too DC heavy, so let's just we'll keep it Nightwing and Justice League, and then there's a book called Orphan and Five Beasts by James Socko.
Okay. Who's the publisher?
A Dark Horse.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you want to do that. Ultra Mega comes out, which is supposed to be really good. That's from Image.
Okay.
So I don't know. That I think that would be kind of cool. Get some like indie stuff because we didn't do any indie books this week.
Yeah, let's do some indie. But I also actually kind of want to do the King in Black Spider-Man tie-in.
Okay. All right.
Because during this whole King in Black thing, we've only had Peter as a part of other people's stories. I would love to have Peter.
Okay. So yeah. All right. So let's
I mean, it might not be anything. It might not be anything crazy, to be honest. But
that's fine. But we'll talk about it either way. Okay. So Nightwing, Justice League, King in Black, and then I'll let you pick the fourth one.
Yeah, I'll let you know what the fourth one is. Like, let's keep that as a surprise to the people.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, well, that's all I got for today. All right. Well, anyways, that's been another episode of the Comic Lounge podcast. And, well, if you're not already following us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Comic Lounge. You can follow Dylan at The Dillbot on Instagram. Make sure you throw your comments or suggestions down below, or you can also email us at thecomicloungepod@gmail.com. And make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. And on that note, we're out.
Later, buds.